Neighbors in Richmond are praying for a 2-year-old boy who fell in a pool this weekend.
Police give an update as they investigate the shooting deaths of 3 police officers. We're tracking the latest on the investigation.
The Somerset Police Department says their community is responding toward them in incredible ways in the wake of recent violence against police officers.
This is WKYT News at 5.
A weekend cookout ending with a 2-year-old in the hospital in critical condition.
Richmond police say they were called to a home on Brady Lane after the toddler was found in a pool not breathing. WKYT's Kristen Kennedy talked to neighbors who say they're praying for the child's recovery. It's our top story at 5.
Neighbors say there were several pool parties on this street Saturday. They didn't realize anything was wrong until they heard sirens.
We heard all the policemen and ambulance coming down, so we quickly ran outside to see what was going on.
Pastor Floyd Ballou lives across the street from the home police rushed into Saturday night. They were responding to a call about a 2-year-old pulled out of a pool unresponsive.
They carried a child out and looked like a lifeless form, so it looked pretty bad. We started to pray for the child and for the mother and also for the homeowner.
The homeowner didn't talk to us on camera, but did say the boy's mother performed CPR on him until officers arrived. We're told they were guests who came over for a cookout.
As neighbors, we were worried. We were concerned.
My husband being a pastor, our heart goes out for the community anyway, and that's what we here is to serve. So it doesn't matter who it is. When they're hurting, we hurt.
Police say the child is at the hospital in critical but stable condition. His family is asking for even more prayers. They say right now his prognosis isn't good.
We just thank God that there's a life that has made it one more day, and we just do hope and pray that he pulls out of that critical state.
Neighbors plan to keep praying for the boy and his family. In Richmond, Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.
Police say the boy is in the pediatric intensive care unit at Kentucky Children's Hospital. Some new details this afternoon in the shooting deaths of 3 police officers.
Police in Baton Rouge gave an update on their investigation, describing in detail how a gunman targeted and killed those officers. Chris Martinez has the latest.
Baton Rouge officials released chilling surveillance photos of former Marine Gavin Long dressed in black, armed with an assault rifle, as he carried out his deadly ambush.
There is no doubt whatsoever that these officers were intentionally targeted and assassinated. It was a calculated act against those who work to protect this community every single day.
Police say a SWAT member took out the suspect with a 100-yard shot, saving other lives.
It was a hell of a shot. But it had to be made. We had to neutralize the threat right there. We could not let it go any further.
The victims are 45-year-old father of 4, Brad Garafola, 32-year-old Montrell Jackson, who had just become a father, and 41-year-old former Marine Matthew Gerald.
He was a Black Hawk crew member and served 3 tours in Iraq. He spent his whole life serving this country and our city, and he's a hero.
A day after the shooting, there is still a great sense of disbelief in this community, with many people leaving flowers and balloons at this memorial near the crime scene.
Narissa Vanderwalker prayed with a police chaplain.
I, for one, have family members that are in the police department, different locations, and I fear for them.
One officer from Sunday's shooting is still in critical condition. Police say he is fighting for his life. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Baton Rouge.
8 police officers have been killed in Baton Rouge and Dallas in the past 2 weeks. And back in Lexington, a very popular, well-known business wanting officers to know they have their support. Drake's in the Lansdowne Shops is offering a free meal today to officers. And as WKYT's Andrea Walker shows us, the restaurant's owners wanted to show their appreciation for those who serve and protect.
After the most recent attack on officers in Louisiana, the owners at Bluegrass Hospitality Group decided to show their appreciation for local law enforcement with a simple gesture.
We want to recognize them for the hard work and dedication to our community, and then treat them with 2 things we're passionate about: food and hospitality.
Every Drake's location in the Bluegrass is offering a free meal to officers, whether they're on duty or off, all day Monday.
It's very much appreciated. It's something that, we do a job that We sometimes forget that there are people who appreciate us, so it is nice to see that the community rally around when we go through some of these trying times like we have been.
Today's event at Drake's also gave officers a chance to share a meal together, which they say they rarely get the chance to do.
You never know when you're going to get dispatched. So, yeah, it's difficult to have everybody go eat at one time.
While officers took a moment to enjoy a free meal and fellowship today, they say with everything going on across the country, they can't help but have a heightened sense of awareness.
It certainly affects the way that we act every day.
With our line of work, it's really difficult sometimes. We always deal with a lot of negative things, unfortunately.
Which is why today's event and the thank yous they receive from the public are so important.
And I think that they need to know that the community does love them and we care about them, and they're a part of our extended family.
Just a small gesture means a whole lot.
With a full stomach, these officers are back to work with a reminder that the community has their backs. In Lexington, Andrea Walker, WKYT.
Well, Clear Channel Radio's 98.1 The Bull encouraged businesses across the area to show their support for law enforcement and help spread the word about the free meals today at Drake's.
Police officers around the region have seen an outpouring of support the past couple of weeks. In Somerset, police say their community has showered them with acts of kindness. WKYT's Phil Pendleton shows us some of the caring gestures the officers have received.
In the days and weeks since there's been some rather high-profile violent acts against police departments, the police department here in Somerset says their community has responded, and they say that was especially evident at what one local church did yesterday.
I've never seen this much support come by.
Sergeant Billy Boland and other officers were eating lunch Sunday when they looked outside to see dozens of people outside. They were simply there to pray for them, and they left something for each officer, a reminder that these prayers will go on.
Each officer was given a prayer cloth, which symbolizes just the thought of prayer. Since they can't be with each officer, they can look down and see this piece of cloth and remember that someone is being prayed for.
That was from New Life Church, but other churches have stopped by to bring all kinds of food, snacks, and coffee for the officers.
The biggest word that stuck out was humbling. It's so nice to see all the people from Somerset, community, even out to Facebook, social media. People are reaching out just to each officer or the Somerset Police Department as a whole.
And police tell me that many times these simple and sometimes random acts of kindness go a very long way in making their jobs that much easier. In Pulaski County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
And police tell us that many times complete strangers will come up to them and thank them for their work. And that is certainly good to hear.
A lot of different
We should all do it.
Yeah, a lot of different groups of people are reaching out to police. So.
Absolutely. Well, we saw a break this weekend, but our storming pattern has returned.
Of course it has. Scattered showers and storms will be hanging around the next, at least tonight. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey has a check of the forecast, right, Chris?
Yep, indeed. We've had at least some scattered stuff earlier in the day. Now we're trying to pop one or two more isolated showers and storms into central Kentucky, but the overall theme of the day has featured more clouds than sun, and that continues to show up on that live sky cam. By the way, look how green that grass is. Absolutely phenomenal for the middle of July, and that's why heat is going to have a very hard time taking control of this pattern. Everything is lush, the ground is wet and green. 83 right now, a little light shower on the west side of town out of Bluegrass Airport. Humidity at 58%, and you can see a little isolated shower coming at us from north to south. Heavier bursts of rain, Williamstown, Dry Ridge, right on top of Interstate 75. Bluegrass region, this once impressive thunderstorm complex is going by the wayside. Even where it was raining out near Keeneland Bluegrass Airport a moment ago, well, guess what? It's not raining anymore. That is finished. Let's look at an hour-by-hour radar forecast. We hit the fast-forward button through the overnight. Anything that goes up should still be rather scattered in nature, but some of us could hear an overnight rumble or two of thunder. So a few storms on the move. Then we watch toward the end of the week and steamy temperatures that surge on in. But thunderstorms and the steam may try to duke it out. We'll have that battle when I come back in a few minutes. We have learned when a man charged in a couple's murder will be back in court. Our county-by-county coverage begins in Washington County, where a grand jury indicted Craig Pennington Friday on 11 counts, including murder, robbery, and kidnapping. He will answer to those charges in circuit court on August 3rd. Police say that Robert Jones and Crystal Warner
were last seen leaving the cabin they rented to Pennington. Police have not found the couple's bodies. In Rockcastle County, a close call after a truck went into someone's home. The Brodhead Fire Department says a pickup crashed into the porch of a home on Albright Street about 2:30 this morning. Firefighters say the driver ran from the scene and a tow truck had to take the pickup away. No one inside the home was injured.
The Republican National Convention kicked off this afternoon in Cleveland. Ahead, there's already been a battle over the rules. And when it comes to the birds and the bees, experts say your doctor might be the best person to talk to your teen. The recommendations of a new report in Better Living.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Yet another day out there where many thermometers failed to reach 90 degrees. Many of us into the low and mid 80s, courtesy of a lot of clouds and at least some scattered showers and some thunderstorms out there. Take a look at the current numbers as a lot of folks, again, show up in the low 80s. 83 Lexington, Frankfort at 82 degrees, low 80 southeastern Kentucky. Got 190 in Danville, but I'm looking at surrounding thermometers and suggesting that may be just a little too warm considering everybody else is into the 80s around it. Current readings, though, compared to 24 hours ago when we were sweating it out a little bit on a Sunday afternoon, roughly 2, 3, 4, 5 degrees colder than this same point yesterday. Those live sky cams across the entire region showing some clouds, a little sunshine, but every cam we're looking at is on the dry side, though Frankfort, I can see a few sprinkles showing up on some of the car windshields for the trip home from a busy day of work. Defender Radar Network, here's that line of thunderstorms that pummeled parts of Indianapolis, dropping toward the southeast, encountering some more stable air in Kentucky, and those storms apparently just did not want to get into the bluegrass state. They are weakening and beginning to die out right in front of us. A little surge of some heavier rain, northern parts of Grant County, maybe Peaks Mill, Frankfort, down into northern parts of Anderson County. We're squeezing out a couple of raindrops, and I say maybe. Had a light shower on the west side of town in Lexington a little bit ago, but overall, the theme is for that complex of thunderstorms to dry up. Can we fire up another one behind it? Yeah, we can. We'll see how it goes this evening. Until we get that front through here tomorrow, the opportunity is there to squeeze out some additional, at least scattered thunderstorms. Not going to rain all the time. Some of you may not even see a drop of rain tomorrow. Mid to upper 80s ahead of that front. That will knock the numbers down a little bit as we go into Wednesday, especially. A storm or two tomorrow, a locally heavy downpour, small chance on Wednesday. Wednesday's mainly dry, then the steam starts to build in. Normal July temperatures on Thursday with a threat for some late day showers and some thunderstorms. Here is the new hour-by-hour forecast. Remember, it updates at the top of every hour for us. 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, mid-60s out the door, maybe a touch of fog. I still think this is slightly undercooked with the thunderstorm threat tomorrow, especially south of 64. Out and about tomorrow night into early Wednesday morning. I think Wednesday's a very nice day. Humidity levels are down. Yes, it's mid to upper 80s through the heart of the afternoon, but it is July after all. If you don't have a lot of humidity, that's not going to be too bad at all. And the long-range call later this week has a big heat ridge building in across the Plain States. We are on the cusp of that. Never going to get the true big-time heat wave like they're getting out west. That will give us the thunderstorm threat that will kick back into high gear this weekend and early next week. Indications now early next week may turn a little cooler than even what I have, and maybe a little stormier too. I know that does not come as a surprise, does it?
But after all that heat, we're going to need a cool down.
Yeah, and here's the thing later this week. We can hit low 90s, but to do that, you got to have a day without thunderstorms.
Sure.
We haven't had too many of those
so
far.
All right, we'll wait and see.
Yep.
Chris, thank you.
A veteran receives the nation's highest military honor nearly 50 years after serving in Vietnam. How he saved dozens of lives.
Firefighters make a disturbing discovery at the scene of a house fire. What they found on WKYT News at 5:30.
Keep up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
This convention will come to order.
The Republican National Convention began this afternoon in Cleveland. The convention will last 4 nights, ending with Donald Trump's official nomination as the party's presidential candidate. Each night will feature a different topic, such as security, immigration, and the economy. The RNC chairman began with a tribute to the victims of recent shootings in the U.S.
Our nation grieves when we see these awful killings. Will you join me in a moment of silence? Thank you.
There was some controversy this afternoon after anti-Trump delegates called for a state-by-state roll call vote on the rules of the convention. There were 2 voice votes, and pro-Trump delegates won both times.
A judge acquitted the highest-ranking police officer charged in Freddie Gray's death today. The judge found Baltimore Police Lieutenant Brian Rice not guilty of involuntary manslaughter, misconduct, and reckless endangerment. And prosecutors allege that Rice initiated the chain of events that led to Gray's death in April of last year. Rice is the 3rd officer acquitted in the case. A small crowd of demonstrators protested the judge's decision.
They had a case, but they, in layman terms, they blew it.
A 4th officer's trial ended in a hung jury. 2 others are charged, and prosecutors will have to decide whether to continue with their trials or drop the cases.
New information today about a truck driver who killed 84 people in Nice, France. Prosecutors say the man expressed support of the Islamic State. He also searched online for information about the attack on a gay nightclub in Orlando. They described him as someone who had not been religious in the past but became radicalized quickly. Americans in Turkey have been told to stay away from the U.S. consulate in Istanbul. The warning comes because of concern over protests following Friday's deadly coup attempt. The Turkish government is rounding up soldiers who tried to seize power, along with those viewed as enemies. The U.S. says it supports Turkey's effort to bring those involved to justice, but they urged officials to avoid excessive measures.
The Zika virus has created a medical mystery. Health officials in Utah say a man who died from the virus passed it to his caregiver. The virus can spread through sexual contact, but the health department says the 2 did not have such contact. This is the first death in the continental U.S. from the Zika virus. A Vietnam War veteran received the nation's highest military honor today. President Obama awarded the Medal of Honor to retired Lieutenant Colonel Charles Kettles. Kettles led helicopter trips to rescue wounded soldiers pinned down by enemy fire in 1967, saving 44 lives.
The whole mission is worth it, simply nothing else, to get those 44 men out of there. It was successful in that regard, to minimize the losses. And that's the only thing that really matters.
Kettles is now 86. He is from Michigan. The University of Kentucky community wants everyone to feel like they belong. How they're promoting unity on WKYT News coming up at 5:30.
A new report looks at the best ways to teach teenagers sex education. The role one group says the pediatrician should play in better living. It is time now for Better Living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. It's typically taught in schools or at home, but a new report finds teens should be getting sex education from their pediatrician. As Chris Martinez shows us, the American Academy of Pediatrics says doctors can help ensure teens are getting the information they need.
Have you had to use your asthma pump recently?
14-year-old Ryan Herrera's annual checkup with his pediatrician includes a conversation about sex.
So do you feel comfortable that you have a place to go if you have questions about things like that? Yeah.
A new report from the American Academy of Pediatrics says pediatricians should play an active role in educating young patients about sex. The AAP says sex education is effective in preventing and reducing the risk of teen pregnancy and sexually transmitted diseases.
We want to make sure that whatever issues they're dealing with, they have an open forum to talk about those issues.
The report finds 1 in 3 teenagers doesn't get any information about their sexuality from their pediatrician.
The AAP says support from pediatricians and school programs can help parents and teens communicate better. Ryan's mom acknowledges she doesn't know if he's getting the information he should.
I'm pretty sure he does, but not as much as what needs to be known.
But Ryan says he's comfortable asking his parents for guidance, and so are his friends.
Parents would know more because they've been through it and they can tell them what they really need to do.
Conversations that could help keep teens healthy. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Baldwin Park, California.
The American Academy of Pediatrics says while teen pregnancies have been decreasing since 1991, the U.S. still has the highest rate among industrialized nations. Stroke is a leading cause of death and disability, but a new study finds many of them are preventable. Researchers discovered 10 controllable risk factors that account for 90% of all strokes worldwide. Those include physical inactivity, poor diet, obesity, smoking, alcohol use, and stress. Eliminating high blood pressure also reduced the risk of stroke by 48%. If eggs are one of your favorite foods, you are in luck. Prices have hit a 10-year low. Supply has returned after last year's bird flu crisis, but demand isn't as strong. Many companies that make pancake mixes and bread figured out a way to cook with fewer eggs. Now, here's what's coming up for you at 5:30.